Welcome to my predictions for Euro 2012, which will be held in the beautiful countries of Poland and Ukraine. In this video, I'll be looking through the announced squads of each team, discussing who's in form and analysing their chances. Now, before I start, I have to admit I'll be biased to a few teams. I'm half Polish, half Irish, and I was born in England, so it comes to no surprise that I'll be supporting those teams. I'm also the sports reporter for a local BBC community radio show for BBC Coventry and Warwickshire. I'll finish the video with who I think will win the final on the 1st of July. And also it's worth noting that I won't be focusing too much on the friendlies that are ongoing at the moment, because they're rarely good indicators on form during the tournament. Please feel free to comment and start a discussion below. So I'll start with Group A, with Poland, Russia, Czech Republic and Greece. And I think I'll start with Poland. Now, I think many of you will be writing Poland off due to their past performances in major competitions. But I'll try and convince you that this team you'll see at the Euro 2012 has changed dramatically. And this change has come about through a new passport policy implemented by the Polish FA. Now, I'm sure all of you will know Łukasz Podolski and Miroslav Klose, who have been key players for Germany over the past few years. Now, they could and should have been playing for Poland. Łukasz Podolski, for example, had his mum write a letter to the Polish FA indicating her son's interest in playing for Poland. Now, this was completely ignored by the idiots of the Polish FA. Now, in order for this not to happen in the future, Poland has conducted quite an aggressive campaign to identify players who have Polish roots or who have the potential to gain a Polish passport and try and entice them towards the team. Now, in the squad that you'll see during the Euros, we'll have centre-back Damian Perkis from France, left-back Sebastian Bönisch, Germany, and in the midfield Ludovic Obraniak of France, Adam Matuszczyk of Germany, who was actually recommended by Łukasz Podolski, and Eugene Polański of Germany. And there have been other players enticed to play for Poland from other countries like Brazil, Israel, Italy, Sweden, just to name a few more. But these players did not make the cut for the final team. In terms of recent results of Poland, they've drawn and won 2-0 against Greece, they've drawn 2-2 against Russia, and they've beaten the Czech Republic 2-1. In their recent friendlies, they've also improved, drawing 2-2 against Germany, where they really should have won and played quite well, and they matched Portugal in a 0-0 draw. And this just goes to show how much Poland has improved in the past 2 years. In terms of players to watch, we have Wojciech Szczęsny in goal, who has been absolutely fantastic for Arsenal, and the Dortmund trio, who helped Borussia Dortmund win the double this season, and were directly responsible for 2/3 of the goals scored by Borussia Dortmund. Robert Lewandowski scored 22 goals in the league and finished off his brilliant season with a hat-trick against Bayern Munich in the cup final. And he's attracted interest from many big teams, including Manchester United, and he really is the informed striker at Euro 2012. We have the captain, Jakub Błaszczykowski, who will be one of the fastest players on show at the Euros, and Łukasz Piszczek, a very attacking right-back, also posing threats down that right wing. Moving on to Russia. Now, Russia is a team that always holds a bit of a mystery around them, because most of their players play in the Russian league. And although the Russian league is a very strong league, it's a league that is not watched week in, week out. So identifying players in form is a little bit tricky. Looking through the team announced by Dick Advocaat, It's a very experienced team that hasn't changed much over the past few years. Now this perhaps has instilled a bit of unity within the team, players getting used to playing with each other. Watching their 2-0 victory over Denmark, it is very evident that this team is incredibly solid and make very few mistakes. The key players to watch, I think, will be Alan Jagayev of CSKA Moscow, who will perhaps be pulling the strings and being the creative player in the midfield. And we have the captain Andrei Arshavin, who will always be dangerous and has a lot to prove after a torrid time at Arsenal. Up front we have big and small, Kurzakov, who has been scoring freely for Russia, and the big Pavel Pogrebniak of Fulham, who made a strong impact on the Premier League. Moving on to the Czech Republic. Now the Czech team has a growing problem with ageing players who are a backlash from their success in the early 2000s. And this squad hasn't changed, and the Czech Republic seem to be relying on these players and haven't really found new players, younger players, to replace them. Despite this, they had a very good qualifying campaign, and in recent games they have only lost to the likes of Spain. Looking through the team, the main players that they'll be relying on are Petr Cech in goal, who's just come from winning the Champions League with Chelsea, Jaroslav Plašil in midfield, and Milan Baroš, who is still providing the goals for the Czech Republic. And obviously the captain, Tomáš Rosický, who has had a miraculous turnaround for Arsenal coming back from injury and has played a key role in Arsenal's season. Another player to watch will be Theodore Ghebreselassie, who is a defender and is half Ethiopian and will be the first black player to ever play for the Czech Republic. So a bit of history there. And finally in Group A, Greece. Now Greece are the winners of Euro 2004, and whenever I'm reminded of this, it just puts a smile on my face. Can they do it again? Well, it seems very unlikely because they haven't changed their style much since 2004. Although still defensive, some new attacking options have been included within the squad, from the likes of Ninis and Fetfatsidis. The team will be hard to break down and are still stubborn in their philosophy of defence, and I believe their standout player will be the human tank in the centre-back position, Kyriakos Papadopoulos. In conclusion for Group A, I believe that Poland should win the group. That doesn't mean that they will. Poland were very happy indeed with the draw. It couldn't have been a better draw for them. They've got a few players who are in incredible form and they are playing at home. But Russia have incredible depth within their squad and experience, and they'll also be confident in winning the group. So this is why I believe it will be between Poland and Russia, and the key game will be Poland versus Russia in deciding who will top the group. Now, the group of death. Group B. Netherlands, Denmark, Germany and Portugal. This is a very tasty group indeed. Now I'll start with the Netherlands. This is a team who were in the final of the World Cup just 2 years ago, and a team that has breezed their qualifying group with ease, and as a result they are very highly tipped as potential winners of Euro 2012. And I think many people are tipping the Netherlands to do well when they look at the attacking options they have. Robin van Persie, top scorer in the English Premier League. Luuk de Jong, top scorer in the Dutch League. Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, top scorer in the Bundesliga. And just behind them, you have the likes of Arjen Robben, Afellay, Van der Vaart, Schneider. It's just not fair, is it? But then when you look at their defence, you can see that their team is incredibly head-heavy or top-heavy. And it's no wonder that the Netherlands play with the likes of De Jong and Van Bommel just in front of their back four to defend their main weakness. Looking at their back four, it's a very experienced back four, but it lacks pace. You have John Heitinga, Joris Matthijssen, Wilfried Boma, the beast Khaled Boulahrouz, all of whom have been there and done it. But I don't really think they'll be able to handle the pace to keep up with the attacks of the likes of Spain, even Portugal in their own group with Cristiano Ronaldo, and they'll be relying a lot on De Jong and Van Bommel kicking anybody who even dreams of attacking their back four. So this is why I believe that the Netherlands may score a lot of goals, but they are vulnerable to concede a few as well. Denmark, the underdogs in the group of death, despite qualifying ahead of Portugal. Now this team is very organised and reliable, and really does have an impressive defence, with the likes of Simon Kjaer, Daniel Agger of Liverpool, Lars Jakobsen. Other players to note will be the old horse Christian Poulsen, who will no doubt be gathering up some more yellow cards and perhaps a few red cards, and the very talented Christian Eriksen, and they'll be looking to him to create that spark for Denmark. And also Nicholas Bentner will be the key provider of the goals and will be playing a target man role for Denmark. And now we move on to Germany. And if we were to pick a team who wouldn't be fazed by a group of death, Germany would be that team. This is a team that has been there and done it, and they always seem to find a way to win. Now the German team is quite strange in a way. On paper, they've got one of the youngest squads at Euro 2012. However, the team sheet is completely saturated with players that are established and seem to have been around for a long time. I mean, for example, we have Philipp Lahm, Per Mertesacker, Łukasz Podolski, Bastian Schweinsteiger and Mario Gomez, all of whom are between the ages of 26 and 28. So it can be said, perhaps at this age, these are players who are just peaking in their careers. Now this brilliant German machine is producing and mixing in new stars in the making who are the top dogs in their domestic teams. For example, Borussia Dortmund team we have seen in the past 2 seasons has been absolutely mind-blowing and a brilliant testament to the Bundesliga. And as a result, many of those players have been picked in the squad. For example, Mats Hummels, Mario Götze, Sven Bender, Ilkay Gundogan and Marcel Schmelzer, all of whom have a good chance to be in the team at Euro 2012. And also we can't forget the 2 Real Madrid stars of Mesut Ozil and Sami Khedira. And we also have old dog Miroslav Klose in the squad, who I believe could score a number of goals, and I think I'm going to have a cheeky bet on him being top scorer in the tournament. And Portugal. Over the past few years it seems that Portugal flick between very dull games that they occasionally throw away to their opponents. They seem disinterested in actually winning the game. Or they might have a game that is blisteringly fast-paced, where Portugal completely blow the other team away. One notable absence is their talisman Ricardo Carvalho, but Portugal do have depth in their squad, and we have the likes of Pepe, Bruno Alves or Orlando in that position. The obvious star player is a player called Cristiano Ronaldo, who is in incredible form this season and really needs to show that he can apply his trade for the national team as well. I believe that Portugal should be strong enough to overcome the Netherlands if they attack their weak spot, and that is, as I mentioned earlier, their defence. And I'm seeing that Portugal might gain that second spot behind Germany. Although I do not see Denmark having enough firepower to get through to the next stage, they may play a huge part in who does. If they steal a draw off the other 3, that could prove to be vital for the other 3 teams in their battle to gain promotion out of the group.